right, can you please identify your band and what you do not do in the band?
Right. The band is Saturnalia Temple, and I do nothing.
And what do you not do in the band?
I certainly doesn't play bass.
Well, today has been my first experience hearing your band, and the music is definitely stoner, but you are not afraid to play or to sing in the clean style as well as the death metal style. Do people from the stoner doom area criticize you for singing in the guttural?
No, never had any that type of criticism at all. I mean, we do whatever feels right. You know, some songs we have the background of both, coming from like the extreme metal scene, but also liking stuff like Stooges, Hawkwind, and you know, Sabbath. So we mix that together, and I don't know, it works out. Never had any problems.
So you are from Sweden. Is that something to be proud of or ashamed of in the doom circle?
I don't know. I mean, like, we have a lot of good bands. Sweden, if you look at the number of people who lives there and the number of good bands, it comes from there. I would say we're probably the world's best band. So I don't know, in musical regard, probably we could be proud of it, but I mean, we don't think about country-wise, you know, it's just a big planet, so who cares about countries, right?
Scandinavia is more known for the black metal export. I would say that in stoner metal, Christus and Gotes and Count Raven are the masters. Do they bear any influence on your band or your singing?
Well, Chris is a great singer, and that's a good band you mentioned. I would say that, yeah, I mean, he sang in Saint Vibes and that stuff that I'm definitely influenced by, so sure, man. And any good music.
Season of Mist Records just recently re-released Children of Doom, the Saint Vitus album that was out of print for a long time.
Right.
So you actually heard the Gotes demos?
Well, the stuff that he put up online, I listened to that. It was cool.
Yeah. So is he a personal friend of yours?
Yeah, I know Chris a bit. We met him at gigs and so on.
So is there any similarity between your approach and that of Christus?
Well, he would have to talk about his approach, so I don't have any idea. I just know what we do.
All right. And I noticed that you are, unlike some musicians, in that you actually will drink before the gig, and you made a joke saying that you're doomed, so of course you have to be drunk. Would you like to explain a bit more about that?
Well, we're a very Dionysiacal band. We like Dionysus, you know, and the ecstasy you can get into on stage, and you know, we can play sober, but you know, it's more fun to play, you know, in a good stage, and have a few drinks and you get into a good mood, and because we enter into it like a ritual, and it kind of fits our vibe.
You're playing on the same tour as Esoteric, and you play very different types of doom. They go from very depressing to very frightening, and you have sort of a mellowing out vibe, but then you have the death metal vocals that bring you right back. But whereas Esoteric plays 20-minute songs that have a million riffs, you play much less riffs. Would you like to talk about that approach and people who don't understand that?
Yeah, that's important to us. Minimalism in a way, like to have one good riff and play that riff for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and I don't know, we feel that it works, you know, and some people seem to dig it too, so that's great. And I have a huge respect for Esoteric. They're a great band, and you know, this tour with them is going great, and yeah, different ways of doing stuff, but I still think that the three bands on this tour all fit together somehow. I don't know how, maybe in vibe, maybe in sound, there's something that connects us, so yeah, difference, but...
Americans think of Swedish musicians as virtuoso level, or very flashy, and your minimalism seems to contradict that stereotype of Swedish musicians.
That's true. I mean, like, I've been playing guitar for a very long time, and I sort of like I did that stuff when I was younger, you know, play fast and all that. Now I'm content with playing short, like, you know, riffs, just doing it very, very like scaled off, you know, very bare. I think it's, to me, it feels more honest to have very like basic stuff, just go to the core.
I think he wants to...
The important... I'm sorry. I mean, the important notes are the ones you don't play. Actually, that's basically the gist of it. The more you take away, the more is actually left for the experience.
You gave me a bit of preparation for your performance. I have not heard a band that loud since I saw Manowar 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're very proud of your amplifiers. Do you want to tell the viewers about your setup?
Yeah, well, I generally play like old late 60s, early 70s English amps. Like I have a Lady Clip and Sound City. That's the kind of amp we use. And we're very happy on this tour that Velnias from Colorado, they build their own cabinets. So we have Atlas cabinets here with the Baltic birchwood and vintage 30s in them. So we have like 6 412s for the guitars, and then we have like 2 double 15s for the bass. So we have a fucking wall of amps, man. So that, yeah, that works out fine.
And just for people who may doubt your ability, you actually were in Therion.
Yeah.
And would you like to tell about your experience in that band?
Yeah, I mean, it's I got to know Christopher in the early 90s. It's a very good friend of mine, and then he, you know, they've changed members a few times, and all of a sudden he asked me if I wanted to be in the band. So I did my first tour when I was about 18. We did like a couple of weeks in Europe with Annihilator, and then just went on from there. Played on some albums. And, yeah, it was a cool time. You know, I learned a lot touring, long tours all over the world. It was a good time.
Is this your first American visit as a musician?
Yes.
And what are some of your impressions? I know you're not on a tour bus tour, you're on a van tour, so you've been playing the smaller clubs. Have any American stereotypes become truth to you, or?
There's a lot of fucking corn in Nebraska. Like, tons of it.
Yeah, and Wyoming is a very interesting state. It's very desolate, it's very doomy, I would say. But yeah, we've seen it all. We started out in Stella Natura, in California, and then traveling all over the country. We go home from Boston, so you know, now we're getting there, you know. But we've seen the whole country, and I would say stereotypes, not really. I'm pleasantly surprised by how polite and nice people have been, you know. And lot of haven't really had any bad experience. You know, not really. Maybe we've been lucky. I don't know.
And you actually complimented some American beer.
Yeah. You have good microbreweries here, man. Because like in Europe, we mainly see like, you know, the big brands, the generic beer, which is crap. But actually, when you go here, you see that there's so many microbreweries that are good. Like, you know, that's nice.
What else? You said that you have not bought a modern metal album in a very long time. Is that because you're afraid to be influenced by anything? What is your reasoning for that?
Well, I would say that since when I grew up, you know, I born 75, so I grew up we started with hard rock, and then came, you know, heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, all that doom, you know. So like early 90s for me, like late 80s, mid 80s, that was when there was so much quality. And I would say that after like the mid 90s or something, I stopped paying attention because there's still so much to discover. I mean, I look at the 60s and 70s and 80s, and there's still so many good stuff there, you know. So, well, if someone gives me an album where I play with a band that I like, then of course, yeah, I check it out. But I don't know. It seems like there's still so much to dig from the old times.
And unlike other bands, you actually like being the first act on a gig, and other people hate that spot. Would you like to talk about that?
Well, yeah, you play, and then it's just time to get drunk. It's the best spot, really.
Yeah, well, I would say also that because I've done headlining tours, and there was just a lot of waiting, and then you finally go on. Of course, that's a great show, but when you go off stage like 3 in the morning and you fuck up the whole day, you know, it's yeah. But I mean, like I could say this, that we're not at all into that. We don't like hierarchy. We don't like oh, you know, this bullshit. So we just want to play music, and we don't care where we play.
And you say that people have actually found out about your band, and they very loyally came early to the show to see you.
Oh yeah, like, you know, it's the same in Europe. We have very loyal fans who will travel far. I guess that's kind of characteristic of the doom genre or the metal genre. But I would say that we're very happy to have fans that, you know, come from a long ways. So that's cool.
All right. Well, I guess to let you get your drinks back. Is there anything that you'd like to say that I may have forgotten to ask or not thought to ask you?
Well, I would say that we're a very spiritual band. You know, we're very much into like the occult. Well, at least I am. But you know, that's the backbone of the band. So it was kind of a spiritual musical experience in a dark way.
And you seem to be more fitting of a hardcore band. Have you ever been told that?
Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't really think that's doesn't really matter.
He looks hard. He looks hard. That's good.